Hello everyone and welcome back to another match preview on the channel. First game back after the international break. It is Sunderland away. Today I am joined with John, who features in the Speak Sunderland podcast. I'll leave a link to all of the accounts in the description below. Thank you very much for coming on. And
thanks for having me.
And let's just get started then.
PNE, we love you, PNE. We're the greatest team there's ever been in the country. We don't come from Blackpool or from Burnley. The crowd all cheer, pride of Lancashire. We love you, PNE. Come on, you Lily Whites.
Sunderland currently in the top six after winning promotion from League One into the Championship via the playoffs. I think they've had a really good start. Did you expect them to be where they are currently at this stage of the season?
Maybe not maybe as high as we are. We're sort of taking it in our stride and taking it, sort of a couple of games. I say a couple of games. Normally it's one game at a time, but we're taking it, a couple of games at a time. And I think a lot of fans would have been sort of happy with, let's just stay in the league. Can we compete in a few games? And I think as obviously the season's only just, we're sort of a third, maybe just under a third of a way in, and I think every game that passes and we do okay in, it's a little bit like, well, we can maybe, push on, slightly. Obviously, when we did get promoted, we knew we knew that we could compete with teams, maybe not everybody, but we're showing, sort of one game at a time. Obviously, we've got a very, very young squad, and we're showing, that we can compete in games. If you look at our performances, there hasn't really been too many bad ones. We've been unlucky in a few games that we should have won. Obviously, QPR we were 2-0 up, and the keeper scores after a mad few minutes, and we draw that game. Obviously, we probably could have beaten Coventry. Obviously, with the Middlesbrough game, we lost Ross Stewart sort of 5 minutes before kickoff. That threw it massively out the window. But sort of with the turmoil that's gone on, obviously as well with Alex Neil leaving, which wasn't ideal. I don't think we can complain with how it's gone.
Okay, yeah. Gonna say obviously you've already two managers in really in the first 10 games, because you lost Alex Neil to Stoke City and you've brought in Tony Mowbray. Obviously you are where you are in the top six after like 10 games in, but would you prefer Tony Mowbray over Alex Neil, or is there not really much difference in between the two of them? Obviously you may be still a bit mad of Alex Neil leaving you, but do you think Tony Mowbray is the guy to help you push on for the top six finish this season?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Obviously, it's you've obviously got to weigh it all up. Obviously, from Alex Neil getting us out of League One was fantastic. But for that alone, you've got to have a lot of time for Alex Neil. I think it's the way the club's run upstairs. It's a bit more. Let's get a bit of longevity there. We've got a lot of young players in the squad, and you might know yourself, but Alex Neil is not one for young players. Whereas our model is bring the young players through and see what they can do. So I've got no real malice towards Alex Neil. Obviously, it's happened. It wasn't nice the way it happened. Things don't often go smoothly for Sunderland. But at least it was a quick transition, and barring the Middlesbrough game, it's been like a seamless transition, which is what you want if a new manager is going to be sort of taken away from you. But it's fair play to Mowbray. He's just kept that continuity going, and there hasn't really been. I think Alex Neil probably built a real strong core of players, and I think that they've continued that strength and that togetherness. And Tony Mowbray sort of come in and he's quite relaxed, to be fair. And it's just almost like the pressure's off. It's like, let's see what the kids can do. Obviously, we've got a few experienced players in there, but I see no reason why Mowbray can't be the one to to take us forward in this league.
Okay, right. Coming into this game, which players should the Preston fans look out for? Who's on a good bit of form currently?
I think at the moment, most of the team are obviously obviously we were, I don't want to say one dimensional, but obviously Ross Stewart was a massive way of how we played. Him and Sim started the season really well. Obviously, we've lost Stewart. From what I can gather, I don't think Sims is ready for the weekend. So I think it's maybe going to be a case of sort of 5 sort of attacking midfielders playing that way. But for me at the moment, you could pick anyone on any one of those front 5 at the moment. Obviously, Alex Pritchard is a fantastic player, not only in League One but obviously in the Championship, and has played in the Premier League. He's doing really well for us. Obviously, Jack Clark out wide seems to be flourishing in this team and this league. Maybe he sort of struggled last season. Patrick Roberts, didn't start the season under Alex Neil, but Mowbray's come in and played him. And if it weren't for Jack Clark's fantastic goal at Reading, we'd probably be talking about 2 fantastic goals from Patrick Roberts, but we're not because of how good Clark's was. Obviously, the boys in midfield are playing really well in Dan Neil and Corey Evans. And then obviously you've got the kids coming off the bench in Diallo, who's on loan from it cost Man United a fortune. He's looking really sharp. We've got another one, Jefferson Bennett, who's scored for Costa Rica the other night against South Korea, who scored the equaliser at Watford last weekend. So we've got players who are very much challenging. Obviously players on the bench sometimes can be sort of just making the numbers up, but it seems at the moment we've got a lot of talent despite the injuries. We've got a lot of talent that's coming on and actually stepping up. I thought at Watford it probably went a little bit flat, and then we bought Jay Matati on, who's still young. We bought Abdullah Bar, another youngster. Obviously Diallo and Bennett come on, and it just changed the complexion of the game. And from the difference from obviously a Premier League team last season, us being League One, if you looked at those last 20 minutes when like our youngsters were playing, you would have said we were the Premier League team, and they were obviously coming up from League One. So it's at the moment it's going really well squad wise, and if we can finally say that's a good thing. I think the five sub will help as well. We're being able to bring some real good players on and change games when it's maybe not going our way.
Okay, right. So just gonna go through a couple of Preston players to look out for in this game. Obviously, I've got to mention first Robbie Brady scored a goal and a hat-trick for Ireland the other night against Armenia. And, basically our players in form is our defence, and our attack is just not there at the moment. We've only scored the 2 goals so far this... 3 goals so far this season. Emil Rees got 20 plus goals last season, and he's only managed to get the 1 so far in the 1-0 victory over Coventry. Troy Parrott, the striker that we got off Tottenham on loan, he's only scored in the Carabao Cup game, and his confidence in front of goal is rock bottom basically. You could see in the Ireland game the other night that I was watching, he was trying really hard, running after every ball and just trying to score, but it's just not coming for him at the moment. And some fans at the moment, and probably I'm slowly beginning to agree, is that he's not actually a proper out and out striker. So maybe we could try him in like attacking midfielder, drop him a little bit deeper, because he's been looking good so far, apart from he's not scoring goals. But at the defensive side, we've probably got the best defence in the league. Lots of individual stats so far that have popped up online. All of our defenders are there. The goalkeeper, Freddie Woodman's got a 85% save ratio for shots faced on target, and we've only lost the 2 games so far this season, but we can't stop drawing games at the moment. Only 2 2 wins, 2 losses, and 6 draws so far this season. Coming into this game, obviously we lost 2-0 to Sheffield United in our last game. Didn't particularly perform well in that game, but we are away, and even though Sunderland's away, I would say is a pretty tricky game for us. We haven't lost a game away from home this season, and we haven't conceded a goal away from home this season as well. But going into the score prediction now, I don't think we're going to get anything out of this game. I do think Sunderland, just the form that they currently are in, I think you're going to beat us. They'll go 2-1. I will back us to score 1, but I think Sunderland will win it 2-1.
Yeah,
so,
I'm probably a little bit worried. Maybe about your, obviously you probably won't be, but your defensive record. I think there might be a slight pressure on us to go. If we get an early goal, that might then draw you out. Obviously, I don't know how you're going to play. Are you going to come and maybe sort of go for us? And if it's quite an attacking game, I probably would then still back us. But if you sit in and make it difficult for us, to score without an out striker, because we're good at playing in behind without a striker, obviously, like we did at Reading. The only thing I'll be worried with, is how solid your defence is. But I think if we can get an early goal, I think that does then obviously draw you out a little bit. There'll be more space to play. But ultimately it's a home game, and if you're going to do well in the league, these are the games that you've got to be able to go and do the business in. But by no means is it, we just expect to win it. It can't be like that. We really have got to, every single week we've got to step it up. And you never know in the Championship. Preston come up here, and I think we played Reading away, and it was Reading hadn't lost at all. I think they won all their home games, and we sort of wiped the floor of them. And it was a bit like, oh, okay, and that's what the Championship could do. So you never know. Obviously, I'll probably go 3-1 Sunderland, but we know in the Championship, it could be any score.
Okay, right. That'll be it now for the match preview. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Links in the description for Talk Sunderland on all the social media websites. And thank you, John, for coming on and talking about your side ahead of our clash this weekend. And I'll see you all in my next video, which will probably be a match reaction to the Sunderland game. So I'll see you all then.